did I scale
Correct.
in like 18 months to 7 figures?
This is the risk that people need to know.
I did not know how to fail. What is the process of failure? How do you close a business?
Yeah, but is that your biggest challenge then, trying to convince people that it's not too good to be true?
Not only did I start again from zero, I started from less than zero.
But how do you get to that point where you're giving yourself that advice? Because it would break a lot of people.
I'll tell you a story.
Yeah.
This almost cost me my business in the very first few months.
Right, okay.
But,
Oh my God.
and then
Welcome back, guys, to another Digital Cheesecake podcast. We've got the amazing Sarah, Ellie, myself, Jack, and the amazing Kris Ingham, who's over at Liquidation Store.
Make sure to hit follow.
Yeah, make sure you hit follow
Follow.
on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple.
Everywhere.
So very keen on this episode. I know your whole history has been super, super interesting. So what we're keen to find out is how have you gone from setting up your first business, which failed, and then your second business, growing that over the last 18 months to over $1 million in turnover. So it'd be really good just to get an understanding of how you've done that.
this is where I should tell you
And
some really
welcome, yeah.
juicy like
Yeah, we want all
marketing
the
guru elements.
stories. Yeah.
I don't really, to know what, when I started breaking down like the last 18 months of growing Liquidation Store, it started from my bedroom.
Yeah.
I had warehouse racking in my bedroom. I was playing around with the idea. And the idea came from my first business where I had loads and loads of excess stock.
Yeah.
And I'd normally sell it to the market, and the market would buy it for 20p in the pound. Then they'd sell it for 40p in the pound. So consumers get a discount. And that was a drinks business. And we had coffee and we had matcha in there as well.
Yeah. How long
And
are you there for?
That took me 8 years. We were in 5 supermarkets before
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
We were concentrating on contract catering. So if you go to an office block and there's a catering site in there, the likelihood is we were in it.
Yeah.
That's
But
pretty cool.
COVID, the
love
rug
it.
the rug came from underneath us. We lost all our supermarket listings within about 3 months.
Shit.
Oh, God,
You have to
that's
think
quick.
back to COVID.
Yeah.
People were going in there and buying 200 bog rolls, 20 kilos of rice and pasta.
yeah.
Innovation went
Just
out
stacking them high.
Yeah, innovation went out the window. Plus, it's like people weren't going in there to buy a sandwich, a packet of Kris and a drink.
Yeah.
They were going in there to fill a trolley. I remember you were running from door to door. Right, this one's got corned beef.
Hectic.
This one's
Yeah,
got
with the
minced
toilet
beef.
rolls and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
You've got loads of toilet rolls, haven't you?
Probably
still
still.
got them, yeah.
You still
Still
had
got
an issue.
They don't go on. But yeah, I don't really have a snippet of a slice of little bit of juicy information to say how I've done this.
Yeah.
I've worked really fucking hard.
Yeah.
And starting off from my bedroom, it's just grown organically. And I've had to bootstrap it, so I've had to work really hard.
You sound like the biggest bootstrapper I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Well,
It's in your genes, though, isn't it?
when my previous business failed, not only did it fail, but I was on the hook for money as well, right? I had personal guaranteed loans. I had personal loans that I put into the business.
Yeah. Whoa.
So not only did I start again from zero, I started from less than zero.
Yeah.
NatWest, I'm going to shout them out for this because they deserve it, sold my business loan to a debt collector before they even had chance to correspond with me to say that I've closed the business. I reached out to them proactively saying I'm closing the business.
Yeah.
Transfer the business debt into my name or continue paying the £300, £400 a month, and no one knows any different. And they're like, oh no, we sold it to a debt collector. Debt collector added another 25% onto it.
Oh my God.
And then that was stuck with that.
Shout out NatWest.
So it's like,
disgrace.
from that perspective, not only did I start a new business from zero,
Oh,
but I was
God.
already in the red from the previous.
Yeah.
Plus, like,
I can't
personal
believe they can
loans
do
were
that
paying
and get away with that.
Obviously, in this sort of environment, there's so many businesses going under.
It's terrible.
That it's more
profiteer of that.
resource. Yeah, it's more resource friendly for them to sell it.
Yeah.
For what, 10p in the pound or whatever they'd sell it for.
Yeah.
Than try and chase me down for the money. Even though I proactively said, like, I'm going to close my business. I've got a business loan that you can transfer into my name. So even like that. So then what did I do? I had to go and take 2 more personal loans to put into a new business.
Bloody hell.
So it's like, all right, I'm going to buy a car. And then told 2 different banks I'm going to buy a car. Took 15 grand from each and started a business again.
Whoa.
wow. So
it's
That's
like-
called
So what they
grit.
did
Well,
it-
you
So
are
in-
saying
So in the
grit.
last 18 months, have you paid those loans off, or are you paying them still over time?
5-year loan, like, let's extend this as long as possible and I'm paying
Yeah.
like
That's good,
£300.
though.
But that's when we started with zero, when I was doing £500 a month revenue.
What were you thinking at that time? So you're in the red, you're in minus, and then is it all systems go? Right, I've got this idea, I'm just going to run with it. Or do you have time to think, oh, bloody hell, like, poor me? Or is it just literally go, 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 go?
The problem is it's a compounding effect, right?
Yeah.
You close your business, you deal with failure, right? Then you've got to deal with this debt.
Yeah.
Then you deal with the fact that that business was your only income, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So there's like 3 levels of
Shit, man.
compounding of a shit show.
Yeah.
And no
And
one
then-
else around you.
Well,
Well,
it's
I was
like, what
going
do
to
you
say,
do?
did
I
you
mean-
have anyone around you that you could go to and just for advice and say, what do I do now? Because a lot of people.
No, because I knew I wanted to do this. So from my
That's
my
impressive.
first business, I spotted this opportunity because there's a big problem with the market, right?
Yeah.
So good thinking
So
about that already.
But for
you know?
me, it's like if I'm having problems selling my excess stock, then in this environment whereby we've had COVID, where no one can get hold of any stock, then everyone went to China and all over the world and bought shed loads of stock because they'd never want to be out of stock again while people are buying. Then
true.
there was a war that happened in Europe.
Yeah.
Inflation went through the roof. Now there's tariffs. This
Yeah.
is like the perfect storm for brands that have, every brand in the country has excess stock.
Yeah.
If you deal with a supermarket,
So
you're going to have
fair,
excess
dude.
stock.
It's amazing.
Because with supermarkets, it's not all it's made out to be when people think they're going to float off away into the sunset when they get a supermarket listing. Every time we dealt with a supermarket, they overpromised and underdelivered on everything. And this happened just before COVID, launched in Tesco's and Sainsbury's, promised massive amount of orders for the first order. They don't promise anything after that.
Yeah,
Right,
this is
okay.
intense.
Didn't even deliver on the first order and then never came back to order anymore. So I was sat with a warehouse full of stock. And given this environment
This is the
now,
risk that people need to know.
Yeah.
I'd never made any money from selling to a supermarket. Never made any money.
Really?
Because then they want above the line stuff. They want the promos and marketing.
Right,
One of them
okay.
came to me, do you want to be in the magazine? I'm like, what the fuck's a magazine in the supermarket?
Yeah, like a supermarket magazine. Who reads
Supermarket
magazines?
magazine.
We
I'm
get
like-
that. We go, do you want to be in the
Yeah.
homeware
Sainsbury's
section of the
do one,
Times?
yeah.
I'm like, that's not
So
even
I'm like,
fucking
okay,
relevant.
what is it? Oh, it's like the hydration section. I'm like, all right, 28 grand.
I mean, isn't it insane?
Right, okay,
You
so
can't
that's
get
how
away
they
with that
add
stuff.
on
It's like,
it,
all
yeah.
right, well, what about doing in-store sampling? I'm like, love doing sampling. I reckon I've spent 20,000 hours sampling from everywhere from
Yeah.
Costco all the way through.
Yeah.
I love sampling. I know we bring our own agency in. It's 20 grand to sample in like a handful of supermarkets.
So they use their own sampling
Didn't
agency.
So I'm like,
know.
Yeah.
Oh,
know
thanks
that.
again. So it's like, but if you want to have a relationship with the supermarket that's
Yeah.
got longevity, you've got to invest in those areas
Yeah.
to be able to do all
Do
that.
you think it's still important to be in the supermarkets then? Or
Well, not in this
not in your
digital
area,
age.
but in like, yeah.
But if you can grow a brand, right, digitally, you correspond directly with your customers. Tesco's customers and Sainsbury's customers, that's their customers, right?
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
your customers. You
Yeah.
might like your product and go back there and buy it, but you don't really have any data on that individual
build your
to
own
go to market.
community.
Yeah.
Yeah,
your own
and
data.
So if you want,
Yeah.
in this day and age now where you can build a Shopify platform in 10 minutes and start selling something immediately,
Yeah.
capture all your data, resell it to them or launch new products and sell again.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, you don't need supermarkets.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you? And even Tesco's got their own marketplace now, so that's reflective of them wanting to engage with people that sell from home and actually
Yeah.
create a platform for them to be able to sell their own
It's
wares.
interesting.
But going back to it,
Yeah.
how did I scale
Correct.
in like 18 months to 7 figures?
Because that's pretty good going.
Yeah, trading. Like
Yeah.
with excess stock, it's wild, and I'm still learning. I'm only 18 months
Yeah.
into it. It's an industry that's existed for forever because
Yeah.
while there's been stock, there's been excess stock.
Yeah.
And for me, I was looking back at I used to get pallets delivered to my house and put things in the lift, and my neighbours would be going apeshit.
Mate, you're wild.
I'd break the lift because there's too much stock in there. And then I had
so
warehouse
funny.
racking in my bedroom, like piled up to the
Yeah.
ceiling, and people would offer me more stock, and I just don't have enough money or room to fit it all in.
Yeah.
And I still have that room now. I still have that problem now, but the numbers that you're looking have multiplied massively. But then
You live on your own, I'm hoping.
No, not even. But there's been times, even with my drinks business, we've had a pallet of drinks in the living room, and my housemates are like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like,
It's like you got to do what you got to do,
deal with it for a
haven't
few
you?
more weeks.
Yeah.
while it's here. But yeah,
Yeah.
we'd do stuff like that.
Holy smokes.
But then I went from a warehouse racking in my bedroom to like a big yellow storage unit around the corner, 200 square foot, which is about half the size of this room.
'Cause you can-
Probably
you can-
fit
you can
about
rent
4
those out,
pallets
can't
in.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I did, I used to go along with a camp table,
Yeah.
like a tent table, what have you, with a battery pack. Do you know you can get like a battery pack for your phone? You
Yeah.
can actually
Yeah.
get a battery pack for your laptop.
Oh, that's
it,
good.
it was like a suitcase.
When? I want one of those.
So I'd plug
Oh,
that
that's
in.
enormous,
Take
yeah.
take my thermal printer, take my laptop, and I'd sit in this big yellow storage unit for like 8 hours a day, printing off labels for orders.
Oh, gosh.
But then I'd also, so for me, the
Shit.
problem always is, if you want to
impressive.
bootstrap a business, you need to keep costs close as possible to zero, right? So
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
want to start taking more and more storage space, your costs are going to go through the roof.
Yeah.
So I
Impressive.
used Amazon as a stepping stone. So I'd
Yeah.
get all these pallets in, send them all to Amazon,
Yeah.
store them at Amazon. When I get an order on my website, I'd get Amazon to send the stock. But then
Nice, okay.
Amazon are like, well, we'll think of a number that it's going to cost you to send this item and we'll double it. So it's not the most efficient
In
way of
terms
doing
of their
it.
margin.
No, they want a logistics fee. A
Oh,
delivery
okay.
fee.
Yeah.
And some of it's like wild. Like cost me £3 now. They'll charge 45 quid to deliver some stuff. So it's not the most efficient, but a lot of the stuff we got it dirt cheap, like storage space to start with. Plus, if I'm going to turn that amount of stock. It's like get it into my big yellow storage unit that can fit 4 pallets in and get it sent straight out. Same problem in there, taking over the lift every day. I'm like, why did you put me on the ground floor so I don't have to do this and just wheel things in and out? No, you're going to go on the second floor.
Yeah.
And I would up and down in that lift all day long. And then there were people moaning, the office were moaning, like you've got too many pallets in like the loading bay. Anyway, then the guy who was sending me all the pallets is like, hi, I've got like 4 warehouses down in Peckham.
Yeah.
Like, what space have you got there? I'm like, 200 square foot. I'm like, I'll give you 200 square foot. But if you need any more space, we'll give you some more space.
Nice. Yeah,
So it's like
really
an
good.
archway. And then what I've done there, I took 200 square foot.
Yeah.
But this is like a year ago I've taken this.
And you're still there?
I'm still there.
Yeah.
To start with, I was sat in the back of the warehouse, like on my own, big piles of boxes, my trusty table and battery pack and stuff like that there.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Freezing.
Whoa.
In -5 degrees, I'm sat in the back of the warehouse, open warehouse, because the guys are bringing pallets in and out for their own storage space all day. I've got like a hat on, like 4 fleeces, and my hands are still frozen, but I'm like sorting all these orders out, getting them all out.
Yeah.
Then took half a warehouse, hired someone.
Yep.
So then all we're doing is sorting all this out. And then I'm like, I need more space to take the full warehouse. Now I've got the warehouse area in front of that, and I've taken the under mezzanine. But you've never seen a warehouse like it. We have stock piled up to the roof in every direction. And the problem is with excess stock, right? And this is what people don't realise. £162 billion worth of good brand new stock goes to landfill every year.
That is a crazy
Right?
stat.
This
crazy stuff.
Yeah, this blew my
Crazy
mind.
stat, yeah.
This is stock that's been for Christmas and not sold. This has been brand new stock that a business has brought in, but then they want to launch a new range the month after or 2 months after. And storage
What's some of the
space is so
worst stock?
expensive.
What's some of the worst stock you've seen thrown out?
What do you mean in terms of like condition or
Could
like,
be it could
Or
be just
like-
the value
You
of it,
mentioned like
right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story. This
Yeah.
almost cost me my business in the very first few months.
Right,
Right.
okay.
So somebody offered me loads of electrical stock. Like gave me a list of everything that was in there. I'm like, yeah, it looks great. And it was about 200 grand's worth of stock that I picked up for about 5 or 6 grand. But at the time, that was
Holy
my entire.
smokes.
But that was
Yeah.
my entire
Budget,
budget.
right,
That's
okay.
all my business is going into this stock. And I was using a warehouse in Northampton. So what I used to do in this warehouse in Northampton, I'd go along with my trusted battery pack, sit in the back of this warehouse, somebody else's warehouse, and do all this. Anyway, the guys phoned me up and like, Kris, what the fuck have you purchased? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you need to get yourself to this warehouse and have a look at this.
Oh, no.
And it was
my heart would
all
drop.
like
Broken.
returns from Argos, John Lewis, but even medical returns. Like people that had used like ear thermometers.
Oh,
And
no.
put them back in.
No.
And I
That's
did like I
horrendous.
did, so I did
That
a
is
TikTok
crazy.
video on this. So if you go far enough back into our TikTok,
Yeah.
you'll
Oh, we
see
have
all
to have a
this.
look.
I'm
Everyone
going
The
have a
very
look.
nature of it, it got loads of views because everyone's like, you get what you pay for, so
Yeah.
blah, 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 that kind of
love
mentality.
customers.
But
That
you
sort
got
of negative
loads.
feedback's good feedback. Yeah.
Well, it went
drives
viral,
the
it
algorithm.
went wild.
Yeah, it drives
Well,
the
there you go.
algorithm.
But you
But
don't want
like, I
earwax,
went
do
to
you?
war with the guys that
Oh,
purchased because we'd not
mate.
agreed on, like, I agreed it was brand new.
Yeah, that's what you
Yeah.
agreed.
We went to war, and even though I
would
got
not wanna go to
most
war
of my
with
money
you.
back, I probably lost about 2 grand on it.
Yeah.
Sending it back out. But
Yeah.
the storage of this warehouse, right? Storage
Oh,
fees
yeah.
are wild. It was in there for like 3 months while I was arguing.
Yeah.
And like, it probably cost me another grand in that. But for
Yeah.
a business that were probably turning over a year ago, would have been doing less than 10 grand a month.
Yeah.
Like
It's a lot.
that's like,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
the absorption of time, right? I run a very
For
lean
sure.
business.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
while I'm
So
arguing with these
time is
guys
a
on a
big
constant
thing.
basis, it's like I've got better things to do.
Yeah.
With the money that you've got and with my time that I have available, which is the biggest resource in the company, I've got better things to do. So in like that, the worst thing that almost cost me my business.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's been a few catalysts. I always call them a unicorn, but we've had so many of them that you can't really call them unicorns.
Yeah.
We bought like one of the first products I purchased was Trunky Disney suitcases.
Oh,
Oh,
drunky,
Those
yeah.
That's
ones
a
with the
big
wheels and you
thing.
sit on
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Yeah,
We should do
man.
adult versions of those.
And
Jack, that
we
is so
bought
embarrassing.
them, but they're all random characters. And there were about
Right.
20 different characters.
All Disney though.
All Disney,
Yeah.
like Paw
I
Patrol,
bought them.
all mixed
Yeah.
in.
Yeah,
Oh,
nieces
cute,
and nephews.
But
yeah.
then you played the brain train game where you got all the little test tubes and you've all got the different colours and you got to drop all the different balls and get them all. It was like that on a warehouse scale.
Wow.
Because we were trying to sell them, but we didn't know what we had. So we had to
okay.
go through 20 different kind of
Oh, yeah,
characters and
hectic.
arrange them all into individual pallets so we can create a manifest to sell them. And I went up to Northampton with like one of my guys, like a logistics guy I use, and we spent like 2 days arranging all these. And the only way you could really do it, because all of them said Mickey or Minnie.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there were about 4 different colours and 4 different designs in each of them. So to the end of it, I memorised all the barcodes. So it's like, that's that barcode.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, we doubled our money in like a week. Sold them out of
That's
the
really
thing.
good.
Sold
Yeah.
us money.
How much were they selling for?
Oh, well, they retail for like 60 quid.
Yeah.
But we bought them for a fraction of that, but doubled our money on the fraction
really
of that.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To
that's
start
good.
the business, in
Yeah.
effect.
And then how did you sell that? Through the website, through TikTok
Just through
Shop?
so for me, that would B2B. So
Okay,
like,
cool.
I'll just reach out and like, actually, for our website being like a couple of months old, we're like, including my mum and grandma, about 5 subscribers.
How do
We're
you
not
get
going to be able to
like
push all
that?
these people.
How do
Yeah.
you get B2B going without constantly following up? Like, it's hard.
No,
is
for me,
hard,
I've got
yeah.
contacts. Well, if I've been in the
Yeah, if you've been in the industry,
I've been
then fine.
in FMCG
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
And every day, my contact book gets bigger with people
Yeah.
that I'm interested in. First and foremost, that I buy from, because
Yeah.
of the very nature of the business that I do now. I need to get constant
And who you
supply.
sell to, yeah.
And
We
but
always
I
forget about
also there's some
Fair
stuff
enough.
where actually I don't have room for it, and I
Yeah.
need to move it straight out. Then I'll job lot it straight out.
Yeah.
So
And is it independents or like large retailers?
all
or?
over. We sold some guys in the Middle East, Netherlands, in the UK.
nice.
It just
Crazy.
depends on the
Yeah,
stock
yeah.
that comes in and what
Just what
people are
they need.
interested
What portion
yeah.
is B2B and B2C
tiny.
now? 10.
It's smaller.
less.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's just
And
the
even
start
now,
of it.
the D2C side of things is absorbing so much stock that I don't sell it on Amazon. I don't put it on eBay. I don't do it on TikTok Shop. We used to do loads on TikTok Shop. I don't do anything now.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that
I've-
would be a big channel for you.
It would be.
Was it?
But
Yeah,
our
but-
website is absorbing everything.
Right,
So
okay.
it's
That's
like
what you want, though.
actually-
That's really
Yeah.
good.
TikTok's, I mean, everyone talks about TikTok
Yeah.
Shop.
Yeah.
Being a brand on TikTok Shop, and well, like one of my major lessons from my first business is control. If
Yeah.
you do not
That's
have
good,
control of
yeah.
the fundamentals of your business, you do not
Yeah,
have
yeah.
control of your business.
100%,
And
yeah.
that drinks business was the same. I relied on contract packers. I relied on like suppliers of ingredients. I relied on supermarket buyers.
Yeah.
I relied on literally, if any of those fundamental parts of a drinks business fell over, you lost the business.
Yeah.
And also like investors. So for me, in my original business, I had 500 investors, and I think that was
That's crazy numbers, isn't
That's
it?
scary.
that was
number,
the hardest thing to come to terms with emotionally, was letting down 500 people.
Yeah.
That had
But
put-
was it a
that-
weight off your shoulders when it...
No, not necessarily.
No.
Like
It
It just might
No,
stay
no.
with you a bit.
So
Once
I
you
You
I
had
think-
to close a business with 500 investors.
I think for me, yeah, I'm from Yorkshire. Like, we call a spade, and I'm very,
Yeah.
I'm very
I like that
communicative with
Yeah.
all my investors. And for every month, I sent them all an investor email, whether things are going
Nice.
really well, whether things
Okay,
are going
that's
really
good.
badly.
Yeah.
So I almost gave them a ticking time of like a year, a
That's
monthly
good, though.
basis.
It's like managing
saying,
expectations, yeah.
I'm going to close the business. If we do not get an exit or we get significant investment in, I will have to close the business. And I gave them the ticking time. Like,
Okay,
I'm
so
trying to do
yeah.
whatever we can to get to where we need to get
Yeah.
to. But if we do not get that, so when I actually close the business, there was always a few detractors, but everyone's like, thanks for the adventure. Like, thanks for your honesty. And there's been
I
loads
like
of
that.
businesses that were just closed overnight, right? Especially in
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the crowdfunding
Exactly.
alumni.
Yeah, because there was a
where
massive
it's like, oh, just
explosion
launched
of
into
that.
Tesco's and then 3 months later they've gone bankrupt.
Yeah.
So it's like, actually, I'm going to manage your expectations all the way through this, and this is what I'm going through now emotionally. But even for me, like, I know a lot of people use this as like an arrogance. I do not know how to fail. I did not know how to fail. What is the process of failure? How do you close a business?
Yeah.
So how did you close the business?
So I
then?
just phoned like an insolvency practitioner. I'm like, hi, this is my business. Like, I think I need to close it. What do I need to know?
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, what stock have you got? What cash have you got? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, you're not insolvent. And I'm like, okay, I've got a COVID loan of about 50 grand. And he's like, you're insolvent.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So you need to, and it's
Yeah.
really sensitive. You want to close a business, you can overtrade, right? Because if I start taking credit from places and
Yeah.
buying in stock to try and get myself out of
Yeah.
the black, and you see it happen all the time. All right, if I buy all this on credit and then I sell it, then the business is healthy again. It's overtrading. You go to prison. so there's an
right,
element
Really?
of that. Yeah.
Okay.
so
Did he
people
know-
do that.
Did he tell you
so
that?
People,
No, but it's like from
just-
researching it.
Oh,
there's-
okay,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So,
you
but people
can
do that.
overtrade.
Right. Okay.
And you find a lot of directors resign if they're not part of the individual business
Yeah.
because they don't know what's going on, the intricacies, and they can be
That's the
implicated
problem.
as part of being a director.
Yeah.
So he's like, right, this is what it's going to cost you. What we do is you leave that amount of money in the bank account and then you transfer everything over to us. So like,
Yeah.
actually, that's all right. Okay, based on that, we've probably got like another month to live.
Yeah.
And then
So
we
it's like,
closed it
isn't
on
it?
that. But yeah, I don't think I've ever truly got closure, because even the liquidation, like closing a business, takes a year.
Yeah.
And only after a year, company's house or whatever
like a divorce.
it's like
Sometimes
they're now
it takes
saying
What do you do
longer.
business-wise in a year? Can you launch a new business?
Yeah,
or-
you can do that, but you've got to be wary about if something goes wrong with your first one in the way that you close it, it can stop you being a
It can
director
impact
in the
the
next
second
one.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can't be
yeah.
a director if you have something into name like that.
And that's for any industry, because you can't start in the same industry, can you? But you can.
No, you can start in whichever industry you want.
Okay,
You see
okay.
loads of people coming back, right, with all lessons learned. And
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
starting
yeah,
something
true, yeah,
similar.
yeah.
Like, think about how strong you are from this. But like my mental health took such like a nosedive
Yeah.
that I remember now at the time, I was just thinking, in 6 months' time, I will be over this.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I will be stronger
Yeah,
for
exactly.
it. There was no like immediate remedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I know I will be okay in like 6 months or a year, and all this will be done, and I will be a better person, a stronger character for it.
But how do you get to that point where you're giving yourself that advice? Because it would break a lot of people. So,
Yeah, and
so
people-
How,
I was gonna ask that.
yeah, how
Yeah, I
do
was
you
gonna ask
how
that
do
as
you
well,
kind
like-
of self-soothe, self-teach yourself to say, I'm going to be okay?
And develop
Because,
that resilience.
Yeah.
Even now you go through challenges, right? And it makes no difference how big your business is. There's always stresses, right? If you're starting a business, it's stressful. If you go through a business, it's stressful.
Yeah.
If you're growing really quickly, it's
It's
stressful.
stressful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's always going to be stress in that. So you've got to have some mental resilience anyway to be able to deal with it. But you learn a lot about yourself as well through the business. You'd be the same as well, Jack, right?
Yeah.
You find yourself in certain situations, and it's like, the difference is you always think the immediacy of whatever stress you're going through on that day is the worst you've ever had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We give it
Because it's just the
24
way your
hours.
mind
Oh,
works.
I give
Give
it
it 24
yeah,
hours.
I give it
Just the way
24,
your mind
48.
works,
Yeah.
you were like, I've been through stuff, but this is the most stressed I've ever been.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not.
the worst
It's
stress.
everything
It's not.
else.
You forget about the 7 days
compartmentalize
ago.
your
Yes.
stress
Yeah.
Crazy.
that happened like an 18 months ago.
Yeah.
So it's almost like understanding how
terrible.
your own brain's wired and going, yeah, we went through some stress.
Do you meditate or anything like that? Or?
I've done it different times.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Yeah, I was
there's
gonna say.
times where I go to bed and I'm like completely overstimulated.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
a
just
challenge.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you
I'm
switch
the
off?
same.
But then I also find like going for a walk and clearing your mind and going for a walk.
Simple things.
My old office used to be next to Battersea Park.
Nice.
And I used to
Yeah.
take a
That's
cup
a
of
good
tea.
walk round there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I ever had to
And in the
have
power
any
station.
really stressful phone calls, I get my cup of tea, go for
Yeah.
a walk. There's areas of that park that's been trodden down by me, like walking
You can see your
backwards and
footprints.
forwards. Yeah, literally. If there's a path that doesn't look like a path, that's probably where I've been walking backwards
Chris has
and
been here.
forwards.
How do you know?
But it's like
size
that's
11s.
you have to understand very quickly how to release.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not alcohol. Certainly not
No.
alcohol.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
drinking.
That'll
is-
make it worse.
If anything, get away from that.
Yeah.
There's little things. I'll go and read a book. I'll go for a walk and a coffee. Like you've got to understand this very quickly because you need to be able to lean on that.
Yeah.
Probably 2 or 3
So
times.
you
a
don't
week.
drink alcohol at all?
No, I do.
Okay, I was just checking.
But, then
Better one wine.
Stop drinking.
even now, if I have a messy weekend,
Yeah.
my mental health on a Monday and Tuesday, and Mondays are the worst
Yeah.
days. Well, not worst days.
Yeah.
We have to pack all the weekend orders on
Yeah.
a Monday. And I have,
And
to do,
that's it.
and
Oh,
I have to do my day job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like we've got one full-time member of staff, 2 people packing boxes in a warehouse, which means all 4 of us are packing.
Yeah.
I do 25,000 steps minimum a day around
Yeah.
the warehouse, just packing orders, getting orders out.
But you're obviously doing, like you said, all of it yourself. You obviously got some team members. But how do you make sure you don't burn out? Obviously, we talked
Yeah.
about meditation, but do you have a day off ever?
And in fact, because I'm on my feet all day, I start then my
Yeah.
admin work and everything else that needs to be done, or like going through reviews or corresponding, because people don't realize we're not a Temu, we're not an
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah.
If you contact our business, you speak directly to me.
Yeah.
And if you leave a review, it's me that reviews
Yeah,
it.
watch out.
Whether
Yeah.
it's positive or
People.
negative. So in that perspective, I'm going through all the positive ones, but I'm also going through the negative ones. But this is my baby, right? I am
Yeah.
defensive. I will defend this company
Yeah.
with all that I am worth. And it really does impact your mental health in that way
Yeah.
around, where you're dealing with people and it's like they've had a bad experience and there's not an amount of thing that you can do. Some people are just irrational. Some
Yeah.
people have had,
Yeah, and you
some people
can't
have had a
avoid
bad
that.
experience, and,
And
in
that's
those
their
some-
issue. It's never your
Yeah.
issue. Yeah.
If you're
Well,
listening.
Yeah.
it'd be part of your issue.
I'm the first one to put my hands up if someone's had a bad experience.
Yeah.
If a box is broken, if an item in a box is split, sorry, we'll replace it. Let's do what we can do. But there's some people that you'll deal with where, regardless of whatever they've done, regardless of whatever you've offered them, they're just...
There's
they're
not
just
gonna
angry
there's
that
no,
day.
there's
Yeah.
no way of dealing
Yeah.
with a situation like that. And that's the worst bit because they absorb a lot of your time because you're trying
Yeah.
to rectify,
Yeah.
you're going backwards and forwards. And
You just can't afford
yeah,
that
and then
time
you get a
in the day.
1-star review on Trustpilot, which then compounds.
Does that ruin your day, or do you think move
Yeah,
on
it
to
ruins
the
my
next?
day.
It doesn't.
Yeah,
If
it
I
would.
get a
I know
1-star
people
review
listening.
on
Whoever does
Trustpilot-
that, stop doing it.
Yeah. and even the ones that haven't, because I send everybody an email. If they buy from me, they get an email.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Kris. This is my small
Personal.
business. Yeah. If I can do anything to improve, what can it be?
Yeah.
If you've not been happy with something, let me know. If you have been happy with something, let me know. So I give everybody an opportunity to message me directly to start with.
Amazing.
To say,
Yeah.
how
That's
can we
good, let's
improve?
fix it, yeah.
Yeah.
Some people, even with that opportunity to speak directly to me, will go and vent on Trustpilot. And they
the
go like,
worst.
something broke in transit. And I'm like, okay, just message me directly. And
Yeah,
I'll sort it
yeah.
But they're not
Yeah.
looking for a
Yeah.
relationship. They don't, you
Yeah.
know,
They're
Yeah.
just
like,
they're
those
just
sort of
looking to vent.
those
situations.
people.
But on the flip side of this, we'll get someone who has a positive experience, and I can't record this because we don't do a loyalty scheme on our website.
Yeah.
But that person that's had a good experience with us. And the issue is with my business, and let's start from what my business actually does.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think we've
Yeah.
even hit
Yeah,
on
let's
that.
definitely cover that.
Yeah.
We buy excess stock from the market, from brands from all over, whether it's an Amazon brand, whether it's an LMS, whether it's Ray-Bans. We've got those brands on our website at the moment. There's so much excess stock available that we buy and then we flash sell D2C. So we're like,
Yeah.
if TK Maxx and Amazon had a baby, this is it.
Like that.
Great
But
analogy.
from our perspective, we are best price. You'll struggle to find, you'll find on
Yeah.
occasions, if Derek in his mum's basement selling on eBay that he's bought some cosmetics
Oh, yeah,
from
true.
a car boot sale, is likely to be cheaper than me. But if
Yeah.
you want to
Yeah.
buy your cosmetics on eBay, be my guest.
I know, it scares me.
So in that
Yeah.
situation, we do deals for up to 90% off RRP. And our issue on a lot of occasions is trust, right? If you're looking at something
Yeah.
online and it looks too good to be true, consumers are probably going to step away from it. So
That's true.
Took a long
That's the
time to
hard
get
part,
going
yeah.
to start
Yeah.
with, because it's like your prices are too cheap. But for us, it's like, all right, do we put our prices up to be more believable, or do we just
True.
keep,
That's a hard
do we
one.
keep hammering away at
What works?
the best value?
Yeah.
I want to be the best value. I want
Yeah.
if I buy it cheap, I want to sell it to you guys cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd want to double down on that on every occasion. If I want to be cheapest in every kind of way.
Yeah.
But then with that, with a business that no one's heard of, that's always going to be a problem to start with.
But is that your biggest challenge then, trying to convince people that it's not too good to be true? Or
I'd say that was one of the challenges to start with.
okay.
And especially when you're starting from zero across everything, from 0 subscribers, 0 sales,
Yeah.
0 Trustpilot reviews. Now we've got like 400 Trustpilot reviews.
Oh, that's good.
Plus, you have the word of mouth.
Yeah.
So when someone actually buys from us and has a good experience and it's actually dirt cheap and they get loads of stuff, they tell all the friends about it as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's probably, it's difficult for us to record it as a business, but there'll be so much of that goes on that's pure referral. The only way I know about that is because people, when they do have a good experience, on occasions, message me to say, I've had a fantastic experience, recommended it to all my friends and family.
Yeah,
I'll be
nice.
like-
So good. Really
Yeah.
And then,
good,
I mean,
really
that
good.
makes my day.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah,
opposite
nice.
way,
Just
a
get that
one-star
really
review
well.
where
Yeah.
I'm trying to deal with a situation, and the bigger the business gets, the more of these
Yeah.
interactions I have on a daily basis.
So you
So
don't
it's-
run ads.
We run ads.
You run
Yeah,
ads.
yeah. We've only just started in the last 6
Cool.
months to run
But you
ads.
started off B2B, and then what was the one that you doubled down
I
on?
wouldn't even say we started off B2B.
Little bit.
I started off trading.
Yeah,
So
trading.
from that, it's like, right, I'll get some product in, I'll sell it on my
Nice.
website. Some product, if I get too much in that my website can't handle, I'll try
Mm.
and push it out. There's loads of people that'll do that, like trading. And the industry for excess stock is a grey area.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I can
And it's
imagine.
always existed. But people don't want to go through what we do, which is breaking down all the pallets, breaking down all the stock, listing it all on the website, creating bundles, creating value D2C. What guys want to do is get a pallet in, add 10% to the margin, sell the pallet out.
Yeah.
And that just
Yeah,
gets
so
passed
you
between
change it,
warehouses
yeah.
over and over until someone gets bored of it, start collecting dust and they'll throw it in the bin. Or they'll ship it to Eastern Europe, or they'll ship it to the Middle East, or wherever else it may be.
Yeah.
But we're the ones where I'm like, actually, there is stock, in excess stock that exists domestically in the UK.
Yeah, yeah.
All I'm doing is rehoming it.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
like,
such a good point. Yeah.
it's almost like an analogy of like, look, you've got all these toys on a shelf, and if it doesn't get sold at Christmas, it goes in the bin.
Yeah.
Brand new stock. And I'm like, actually, people want to buy toys all year round. So it's like,
It's
actually,
true,
let
yeah.
me buy it and let me rehome it. We have some businesses that we deal with, and we deal with some big businesses
Yeah.
that would rather throw their stock in the bin than see it to
Sickening.
be sold on a discount. And I'm talking
why?
millions and millions and millions
make
of
sense,
pounds
does
worth of
it?
stock, because they don't want they don't want
wanna
to see it
cheapen the
come up
brand,
as a
right?
discount.
Right,
Yeah, they don't
want
want to cheapen the
We
brand.
built a brand over
Okay.
years and years. We
Yeah.
don't want to see it getting sold as a discount.
Okay.
They will rather throw all their stock in the
Disgusting.
bin
It is.
rather than
Yeah.
do that.
It is.
And when you start multiplying that worldwide, that's where
Oh,
your
it's
162
outrageous.
billion pounds worth of good stock that goes in the bin every year happens.
Yeah.
And even the big guys that buy this excess stock or used to, in my experience, when we used to deal with the guys that buy excess, like TK Maxx, the B&Ms. We used to sell to them at like 20p in the pound. They'd sell for 40p in the pound. When I had like 150,000 drinks in a warehouse that I was trying to shift, they offered me 1 pence. Like the aluminium alone, if you're going to take it down to the recycle, they'll pay more than that. So I'm like, what on earth's happened here? Well, those guys have got so big that now they can't rely on excess stock markets. The volatility, there might be nothing in 1 week, and then they've got empty shelves.
Yeah.
And also what they've got is so much data that what they do instead is like, actually, getting to Christmas. So why don't we do a collab with a brand to do little black dresses?
Yeah.
Or actually we've seen something else and can we double down on that? But then these brands will create a product for excess stock rather than it selling in their boutiques or in their shops. They will create something especially for them that's never been on shelf before.
So it's still going to be excess stock?
Well, it's not excess stock, but they're just creating products for a channel that once upon a time would have been excess stock.
Right, okay.
But because that, these guys aren't buying excess stock anymore, which is compounding the problem even more. So it's like you all you're doing is, I understand what the problem is.
Yeah.
If you turn to £1 billion of a business, like some of these ones that are doing, how do you make sure enough stock's coming through to make sure you're going to satisfy demand? But then that means all those people that were relying on these guys to sell their excess stock no longer can sell it, which then compounds a problem with them throwing it in the bin. Because warehousing costs are so expensive, £5 per pallet per week times 1,000 pallets.
It's a lot of money.
Where do they usually throw the stock? Like
landfill.
Just landfill.
Yeah,
that's it.
landfill.
Yeah.
Like they're all through the same process.
Or pour it down the drain if you've got a product, like
I
whatever.
just thought there might be some better processes at, like where we are now, but
I mean,
obviously
donating it, but these guys are not interested in
You
that.
still have to store it.
Yeah, because you made a good point about even sustainable products that are created. There's still going to be excess stock of that. So this is surely a good answer to that.
If you're creating something that's made from recycled plastic and you don't sell it, it's probably still going to go in the bin.
Do you want to go down different like industries?
We're agnostic. We do anything.
So you can do anything.
I've bought inflatable kayaks.
Did you sell them out?
I bought treacle. Yeah, I've sold out.
I
do love treacle.
I like the home.
Next time
I
I
think
get
the
some
home wear.
But yeah, I've got honestly,
I think
I've
the
got
home
pet
wear is
products.
awesome.
I've got food.
great.
I've got building materials. If I deem there's value
so
in
many
something,
opportunities now, isn't there?
I
Pet
will buy
products
it.
is good because obviously
One of my favourite
Everyone
ideas.
loves pet
money's going up and stuff. I was going to ask because after your first business, a lot of people might think, do you know what, I'm going to go and work for someone. So did you always think, yeah, I'm definitely going to open, when I'm ready, I'm definitely going to open another business? Was that an immediate thought, or were you dabbling in, or should I just go and work for someone else?
Well,
should I just do that?
starting from scratch, I used to be an investment banker before all
Whoa.
this.
Right, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I quit my job to start a drinks business, like seamless transition. But even within, I was always disruptive in the corporate environment.
No way.
I'm outspoken and call a spade a spade. Beat around
like
the bush
it. You
in
work
these
well in
sort of
Australia.
situations. And there used to be a lot of grievances because Kris used to speak his mind too much.
Right, okay. There you go.
We would get along in the workplace. I love that.
Versus now, I do what the fuck I want in
Yeah,
this business.
nice.
And there's no way you can assimilate me back into a corporate
Okay, that's fair
environment.
enough. And you knew that after your first business?
For me, the first week of me starting a business, I'm like, this is what I'm made to do. And I always used to be that guy. I used to trade stocks and shares when I was 12. I used to buy tickets and tout tickets when I was like 15.
Oh, you're one of those.
I used to sell anything I get my hands on, I'd sell. And I've always been that way inclined. And that's what I'm doing now, but just on a grand scale. So I've always had this. My parents are the same. They're like hustlers. My granddad was a farmer, and you make ends meet. You do what you need to do. But I'd say also growing up with my granddad, I used to do milk rounds when I was like 5 years old.
Love that.
So for me,
tiny.
I always think that I had it instilled into me that work and life aren't separate.
Yeah.
And there's an element like that's not necessarily a healthy balance of what I do now.
That's
it's hard, but
that's
it is,
how I see it.
that,
like I'm that much of an intense and passionate character that I don't just want to compartmentalize going to work with then
it's both.
the rest
it's
of my life.
It's life.
Yeah.
Everything's
And
life.
with banking, I did not give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like I was dealing with big numbers on a screen. It wasn't my money.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I step into this, there's no safety net.
Yeah.
So it's like what I do today, it's first and foremost a survival instinct that you need to make it through the week.
Yeah.
But also like I've got an ability to be able to grow something, then let's see what we can go, see what we can do with it.
What about something that's held you back? Like it could be, there sounds like there could be a few.
Well, first time round I had 500 investors, but as soon as you go on that investor roundabout, you don't get off.
Yeah.
Because then you scale everything you can to be able to create as much revenue and growth as possible. But then you need your next funding round to come in to be able to supplement the growth of what you're doing next time round. So that's the issue is actually, if you look back at my first business, I didn't really do much business. I was just doing a funding roadshow on a constant basis,
Yeah.
which was taking me further and further away from the fundamentals of what we do for business. This time round, I've bootstrapped the business from taking out a couple of bank loans to start with. We've taken like 70 grand's worth of investment throughout the year and now throughout the 18 months. And I've got offers of investment now that I've not taken because it's like actually we're scaling and the problems of the first business, which a lot of it was cash flow. I buy products and sell products now and it's in and out pretty quickly. What was the question?
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I was like, what did I ask? It was what held you back, because I think it's the investment side, right?
There's loads of things that are holding me back right now. I need more space to buy more product. I need more cash to buy more product. In 2024, I got offered over £1 billion of excess stock. And I bought like 0.0001% of that. But so I have to cherry pick on a day-by-day basis. So as much as I'm trying to solve this problem of excess stock, I'm like the pimple on the backside of a whale here, trying to do it.
Next? So once you get more money, the bigger warehouse, what's next after that?
Well, for me, just keep trading, right?
Yeah.
But
I get offered probably in the region of £100 million worth of stock a week at the moment.
Right.
That's scary. And in just London or like
UK? I only buy from the
Just
UK.
UK.
Well, there's been times I've purchased overseas.
Yeah. I mean, this is disgusting amounts in the world.
Yeah, I purchased something from a Canadian brand once, like a beauty brand. I did something with like a German brand once, but there is so much stock in the UK that's excess
I can
that I don't even need to worry about all these logistics. And the thing is with excess stock, it's worth so little that if you factor in overseas logistics into it, it becomes the major cost is logistics. So I'm like, actually, let's double down and focus on the UK.
Yeah.
Before, and everyone's going like, why do you do the US? Why do you do Europe?
Conquer UK first.
I'm big enough to do it. Like I haven't got the cash flow, and I get offered so much stock in the UK that I double down on that. But for me, I'm looking for a bigger warehouse at the moment.
Yeah.
But then it's like, while you're bootstrapping, the amount of money you need to put down to be able to take a warehouse, plus kitting it all out with everything you need, I'm like,
but you've
let's
also
do
got the
whatever we
risk,
can.
right? You, like we were talking about, you got the risk of, do you take the investment or not? Because then you potentially lose control. Do you think so or no?
Need a balance.
Control's one way to look at it, but I lose my freedom to an extent.
Yeah.
I don't report to a board.
Yeah.
I don't do a board meeting every month, which allows me to be able to do whatever I want in my warehouse, which is simply getting stock in and selling stock and getting it out again.
Yeah.
I don't want to be taken away from that doing bureaucratic processes, which you end up doing in that sort of regard. Plus, I've grown everything. There's like sustainability squared. I'm dealing with sustainability, but I'm dealing with it in a sustainable way, whereby the business is growing organically. I mean, I have to put the foot on the brake a lot of the times because you can grow a business too quickly. Yeah. So that's my problem at the moment is like, I'm trying to let the business go, but if I take the wrong stock in and it absorbs all my cash flow, plus the space, it becomes, it's a compounding effect the other way around.
Okay.
So for me, it's like, if I take institutional investment and they're like, right, you need to grow this 10x, and you need to grow this as fast as you can, and you need to exit in 3 years, then that's going to make me buy products that I wouldn't normally buy. It's going to make me promote into areas that I wouldn't normally promote, just in order to be able to hit all the growth metrics, in order to get your next funding round in. Plus, they're going to bring in a director of marketing, a director of operations. So it's like, I do all these. And I don't need that where I am at the moment. I can work harder to be able to get over all these humps. And then when I'm ready to bring somebody in to manage it, I'll do that. You will do
it. So you will do it. You're not going to completely not go down that route again.
No. Okay. And even for me, I've got a little office in my warehouse and we've got 3 desks. One of the desks is covered in stock. So I don't physically have enough room to fit somebody in my office until I sell more stock.
Yeah.
But then I always say that, and then by the time the end of the week comes around, I've sold that stock and there's twice as much more on top of it.
Yeah.
So there's an element of like that all the way around. So yeah.
I feel like there's so many cool questions that we could ask. But I think we're up with enough with the time.
We did like a part 2.
I know.
Like where you are in 12 months.
Can you just tell us the Instagram handle, the brand name, etc., so we can refer to it?
Yeah, liquidation.store _ I think it is.
Yeah.
Website is liquidation.store.
Yeah.
TikTok's the same.
Cool. I'm excited to share this with everyone. Thanks so much for joining.
Thank you.
Cool.